Hello student, back again with me, Miss Vani. Today we're going to learn about Unit 2, the life cycle of flowering plants. This is a review of Unit 2 that consists all the materials covered in the Unit 2. Let's have a look. The first subtopic in this unit is about why plants have flower. Do you still remember why flower is important for the plants? Plants as have the flower because it will help the plants to reproduce, to form new plants. And the flowers that plants produce can be vary from color, size, and scent or non-scented. So no matter what the appearance, the flower has important role for the plants. The next subtopic is about how seeds are spread. Before we learn about the seed spread, we just reminded about the fruit jobs. The fruit has two important jobs. The first one is to protect the seed inside, and the second one is to help spread the seeds. Why does the seed need to spread? The seed must be dispersed because the seedling or a tiny plant that grow from the seed here, they need room to grow. They also need light and water. If they grow in a small space here, they will fight for food and also for the water and for the light. That's why they need space, they need room to grow. The seed must be dispersed. How can the seeds are spread or dispersed? Usually the seeds dispersed by animals. Some animals they can eat the fruit and the seeds go inside their bodies and will go out to their droppings. So after the example in this picture, the birds eating the fruit, and then the birds fly, and the birds will get out their dropping in other places far away from the parent's plant. It's also happened with the bat. Most of the bats are eating the fruit, not blood like it is usually told in the story. And then some animals also, they carry the seeds to their places, like the ants, they carry the seeds into their holes, they collected them, and the squirrel also collect the seeds underground. They dig a hole and put the seeds there. Sometimes when they forget to take the seed will grow if the condition is right for the seed to grow. And the next one, the animals can disperse the seed unintentionally, so they accidentally spread the seeds. They don't realize there is a seed that stuck on their fur, and then the animals go away and then take the seeds, and then when they spread out their fur, the seeds fall off and can grow into a new place. Next one is the other way seeds are spread. Before we learn, some animals can help to spread the seeds. In this topic, not only animals that help the seeds to spread, but also the seed can be dispersed by help of the wind. Seeds that can be dispersed by the winds, usually they are light and dry, and they also have winged or hairy. Example, this poppy seed here, the wind will shake the stem and the seeds will go out through the small hole here. And also the dandelion, they have hairy seeds, and this is the sycamore seed. The sycamore, they have wing. that make them able to fly, dispersed by the wind. Besides, there are also some seeds that dispersed by water or floating. Example, the coconut and the mangrove seed, or we call it, this is a sea pencil. These seeds, they can float and taken by the water because they have spongy seed coat. Then other ways the seeds are spread are by explosion. Some seeds they explode and shoot out their seeds. Usually it's a bean pod or the bean plants family. So when the pod is dry, it will crack open and let the seed shoot out. The next is the part of a flower. This is my favorite. So there are some important parts of the flower. There are four main important parts of flower. These parts of flower arrange in circle from inside to outside. So if you see from this picture, from outside there is sepals, here the small green leaf, and then there is petal, usually the colorful one, and then goes inside again we have the male parts, anther and stamen, and then goes the inner again, there's stigma, carpel and ovary, that are the female parts of the flower. And here's the detailed function for each part. The sepal usually will protect the flower buds, while the petal they have brightly colors to attract insects. The male parts, stamen, it has the tip of stamen called anther. This anther will produce the pollen. And then for the female parts, there is stigma that will receive the pollen at pollination. There's also ovary here that will contain eggs, and there is carpel. Carpel is the parts of the flower that protect the ovary, and then the top is called stigma. The next one is about pollination. In pollination, we learn that pollens can move from the stamen to stigma. This process is really important. The next one, and this pollination, there are two ways to do it. The first, the insects can help to carry the pollen from stamen to the stigma, or the winds will help them to move the pollen from stamen to the stigma. Why must the flower be pollinated? It's important because pollination is the gate, it's the starting point to go to the next step, which is fertilization. So after the pollen arrive in the stigma, here the stigma get the pollen received, the pollen will meet the eggs and they will go through the process called fertilization to make the seed. This process happens in the ovary, in the female part, and the pollen and eggs are very important from the same kind of flower. After the fertilization, the petals will fall off. And the ovary will come bigger into the fruit, and inside the fruit there is the seeds. About the pollination, we can investigate that some flowers only attract the butterfly, example this flower, because it has a lot of nectar, and this flower also attract bees. It's very colorful. Some flowers attract beetles, while other flowers they attract hummingbird. So certain flowers will attract certain animals to pollinate. The animals that help in pollination, we call them as pollinators. Can be butterfly, beetles, bees, or even birds. This is the last subtopic of our unit about the plant life cycle. So we learned that the seeds can germinate and then the plant will grow. After grow into an adult plant, it will produce flower, and then through the process before pollination and fertilization, the flower will produce fruit, and inside the fruit there will be the seeds, and to make the seeds disperse they have to have the seed dispersal. Maybe the fruit crack open or the animals eat it, or maybe it's float. And then some plants after this stage they die, or they can make another fruit. And then this process will happen it again and again and again. It makes the cycles. That's why we call it the plant life cycle. That's all our lesson today. Thank you for joining me. See you again next time. Goodbye.